Most of us walk through life barely living. We are surviving. We are walking around with pain, burden, hurt from family, friends, different things in life. And Your Story Matters is about extending a hand to you, that person who is uh, carrying these heavy burdens, feeling like giving up, feeling like you're at your end, you're at rock bottom, and we are saying you don't have to do this alone. Here's a hand, let's walk together. We don't have all the answers, but when we walk together, we find ourselves some healing, some closure, some strength to keep on going, to keep on living. So this is an experience through poetry, music, interactive conversations. That's why we had this whole experience. We started in Lamu, and one thing to note is that this whole tour has been an experience of many firsts. So myself, my brother Lujang, and Stan behind the scene, we are going to Lamu for the first time and performing there for the first time. So of course, I was nervous because there's a different environment, different people, different culture. And Your Story Matters is such a vulnerable experience. People have to open up and find a safe space for even us to open up and get to share and to interact. So I was nervous at first, thinking if it's going to go according to plan, if anything is going to go wrong, how wrong will it go? But we were surprised. It was a beautiful experience. I remember one thing that encouraged me is that when we landed at around 10 a.m. and then that evening we went to have a refreshment in one of the restaurants while we were meeting some of our friends. And the server who was there called me by my name, said that he had been seeing my stuff on Facebook and he was coming to the event. And he said he'll have to make sure that he comes because he was on duty, talk to some of his colleagues to cover the shift for him. He came to the gig. We found out he was actually an artist. He had recorded a song but never performed. So that platform was his first opportunity to share his talent, and it was an amazing experience. We got to have some deep conversations during the event, and even after the gig, we attended Anidan K Children's Home, led by amazing Aswad Uhuru, aka Satan. You can ask him why he calls himself Satan, but he's an angel at heart. You get to interact with him, such a big contrast. And we spent the time with the kids there, got to listen to some of the creations that they were working on. Beautiful music, beautiful environment. Oh, we played a game of basketball. Yeah, I will not say who was defeated, but yeah, let me not embarrass my peoples. Yeah, the kids are great. They are professionals.
Today's show was one of the best eye-opener for this year because I love the poet. Because poetry is one of the things that we had not experienced a lot in Lamu, so we love the combination of poetry and music, and I hope that you guys can continue doing this.
Show imekuwa mzuri, ijapokuwa ni different type of music ile watu wa Lamu wamezoea, lakini at least kuna kitu tumejifundisha. I hope itasaidia vijana wetu waweze kuandika mashairi pia kama vile STOM'S tunafanya, na mbeleni pengine instead ya nyinyi kuja huku, na sisi pia tutakuwa tuna watu wa kuleta Nairobi ili kuonyesha Uswahilini mashairi yao yako vipi.
Big up Storm. Homsi hapa juu manze. Hapa fiti manze. Yo design zenye anapanga hizo mabistari manze. Manze, I was so happy like kukua hapo mbele manze kumchekia kiperform. He was so amazing, he is so talented. Big up bro manze.
This is Tom Before we are Mombasa. This is YSM tour. Bro anakula food ya mpishi anatoka South Sudan. Shout out to South Sudan bana for giving us our chef, Mr. Lujang, ladies and gentlemen.
This is the chef, guys. This is the chef.
I mean, it's just
Liuji.
basics. Yeah.
We got there during the week of the Gen Z protests, so that was again another one of our anxieties, but it was a beautiful thing because we were experiencing Kenya coming together as one, young people demanding something right for their country, for their future. And also that same week was the Swahili Cultural Week, so the event was sort of a culmination of this whole week of the Swahili culture. So it was a beautiful, beautiful timing, beautiful set, beautiful performances from the other artists in Mombasa, and also the conversations that we had and our friends that we got to interact with, the media coverage that we got, the interviews that we did. Wonderful sessions. I love it. Memories, my G. This one was also special because I was born in Nakuru, but I got to perform there for the first time during this tour. And that whole week I was in my other office as a zero malaria champion. So I was coming from all these activities straight into the Nakuru tour. I was exhausted, worn out, but during the show, just got mad energy because of the people there. The energy was right there. I remember we had candid conversations with, and these are strangers we were meeting for the first time, but the bond there was so amazing. Like we'd known each other for such a long time, and I feel like that's the power of art, to connect hearts. It doesn't matter the language, but the connection is genuine because we can recognize the pain, the fear, the joy, the happiness in other people, and it connects with us, and therefore we get to even connect on a human basis, human level.
Because it was not just about poetry, there was a story, there is a story behind everything. So what my take home is, we all have a story to share. If this is the way we can express it, then we need to express that story in whatever manner. Yeah, for it to be heard, maybe inspiration will come like in any form, because I'm inspired in this end.
Here we have performed so many times we can't count, so we are not doing this for the first time. But what was different is, I think the space, it was more vulnerable, and it felt like opening up these walls to your family that has known you as someone strong or bubbly, and now this was us opening these scars for them to see, okay, this is what has been happening, let's have conversation. What about you? What about you? What about you? And after that whole session, we get to encourage each other. The Bible says moments of refreshment will come upon us, when we get to commune with each other, break bread together. And that was Nairobi. I cannot put everything into words. The experience, you have to be there for the next one to get the whole experience, because I can't even tell you everything of how much I felt, how much I was impacted.
It was nice just to hear from different poets who performed, and I think I left there empowered because now I'm using different pair of lenses just to view life. I really love the section where it was about Q&A. So people the audience were being engaged and given an opportunity just to share about themselves, the questions that they have, about the performances and the tour. And it was really nice to hear from also their perspective. So I felt like it was more of listening stories from the poets and also stories from the audiences.
It was a safe space. Some of the performances took us to our childhood, and we had a lot to reflect. For us who had lost hope, for us who thought like we were so much hurt in the past and we couldn't forgive, and maybe God forgot about us. I can just say it was a moment of reflection and being uplifted. Many parts were touched, be it health, be it mental health, be it political part, the leadership and governance. It wasn't just a moment of listening for fun, but it was also a moment of learning. We were taught. Personally, I've learned things. I've heard stories that imenipea a bit of knowledge of things that I didn't know, and It's just excellent. I can't wait for another session. Definitely, I'm coming.
I really loved the curtain raisers as well as STOM'S performance. To be specific, the poems that were told reminded me of how I grew up, the life that I've been living, and how to open up more, to tell stories, to interact with people, to just relax a bit and ensure that, even if I'm going through a lot, I can go through it. I feel better now.
I love how, from the pieces they were talking about, you could pick out pieces of ourselves, in the pieces they presented, and that is so beautiful. I have loved even, the name of the show was Your Story Matters, and truly, I have felt like my story has mattered in the show.
Alafu nilisikia hata sasa kiongea juu ya mental health, which is very important. Hey, men are really suffering outside here, and ni angle fiti sana men to take care of themselves, and just to bring that into poetry, it's just another angle, man. Me hiyo kitu ili ni bamba.
I feel like the stories that you're sharing are not just our stories, and as much as your story matters, the idea is for me to share that with you. So wakati hakuna mtu anakuja kusikia chenye nawaambia, inakuwa like sometimes in a bit the purpose kwa nini tuko hapa. So like seeing people come in, that was like beautiful for me, na wase ku engage na sisi imekuwa like quite the expectation, na pia expectation yenyewe ku met. So yeah, the show was not too far, like the artists did not feel like they were too far from the audience. It didn't feel like it was, it's them and us, it's we. It's I feel connected with the artist. Ameshika chini to level yangu as an audience, and manage to connect na yeye. Stories anashare ni stories zinanihusu, so in a sense tuna manage to build your sense here. In as much as ni individual healing, it's more communal, because I share my story, you share your story, and in that we find meaning for the things that we consider important to our lives.
It's amazing to see the growth, the experience, the artistry, and see progress within the industry, amongst my fellow artists, and finally, seeing that the organizations that are willing to stake some money in seeing us thrive as artists, that's important. So that makes me very proud and happy as a poet, as a performing artist, as an artist, and as a young Kenyan, to see like there's these opportunities that allow us to be artists, and practice our artistry without having to worry about resources and space, because those are some of the things that have been curveballs in our practices pretty much. Yeah, so it makes me really happy to witness all that.
And how much I'm grateful to have a fund, Alliance Française, French Embassy, CASIC, Creation Africa too, for making this whole experience possible, for enabling us to access all these people in different areas of Kenya, and for us to unite and connect and get to build each other up. And that's the whole purpose of Your Story Matters, to get to different people and to affirm them, to let them know that whatever you're going through, whatever spaces you are in life, no matter who you are, just know that your pain matters, your story matters, and your healing definitely matters, and we achieve more when we're doing this together. So asanteni sana, see you on the next one. Ama namna gani my friend? Kata hiyo kitu.